My little brother asked why his heart was beating so fast. I was halfway through a raid in my game when Eli wandered into my room, one hand pressed flat against his chest. He was 8 years old and always interrupting me for stupid reasons, so I didn't even pause. Jenna, feel this! He grabbed my hand and put it on his chest before I could stop him. His heart was hammering so fast I couldn't count the beats. It felt like a hummingbird trapped inside his ribs. Dude, what were you doing? Running laps around the house? He shook his head. I was just watching TV. I pulled my hand back and shrugged. You probably just got excited about something. Go drink some water. He stood there for another second, looking at me with those big brown eyes, then shuffled back downstairs. I went back to my game. Mom was working a double at the hospital and wouldn't be home until morning. Dad was on a business trip in Seattle. I was 16 and in charge, which mostly meant making sure Eli ate dinner and went to bed on time. 20 minutes later, he was back. It's still doing it, he said. This time his voice was smaller. I sighed and paused my game for real. Still doing what? The fast thing. It won't slow down. I tried taking deep breaths like you said that one time. I hadn't said anything about deep breaths, but I got up anyway. I put my hand on his chest again. Still racing. Still that fluttery hummingbird feeling. I looked at him more closely. His face was flushed, but his lips looked kind of pale. Does it hurt? He shook his head, then stopped. Kinda. Like it's squeezing weird. I pulled out my phone and Googled fast heartbeat in kids. The results said anxiety, dehydration, too much sugar, caffeine, normal stuff. I asked Eli if he'd had any soda. He said no. Any candy? No. Was he nervous about something? He just stared at me. I'm nervous now because my heart won't stop. Fair point. I got him a glass of water and made him sit on the couch. I figured it would pass in a few minutes. Hearts don't just race forever for no reason. 15 minutes later, his heart was still pounding. I could see his shirt moving with each beat. That wasn't normal, right? I counted silently, watching the fabric jump. I got to 60 beats in maybe 20 seconds. That math didn't seem right, but I wasn't exactly a doctor. I texted Mom, Eli's heart is beating really fast. Normal? 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. She was probably with a patient. I looked at my brother. He was sitting very still on the couch, his hand pressed to his chest like he could hold his heart in place. Jenna, I feel weird. Weird how? Like floaty. Like when you stand up too fast but I'm sitting down. I grabbed my phone again and searched fast heartbeat dizzy child. The first result mentioned something called SVT, supraventricular tachycardia, heart rate over 150 beats per minute. I scrolled faster. It said to call a doctor if symptoms persisted more than a few minutes. We were past that, way past that. My phone buzzed. Mom, how fast? Is he pale? Dizzy? I typed back. Yes to both. It's been like 45 minutes. Her response was immediate. Call 911. Now. Don't wait. I'm coming. My stomach dropped. Mom never panicked. She'd been an ER nurse for 12 years and had seen everything. If she was telling me to call 911, this wasn't just anxiety or too much sugar. I looked at Eli. His eyes were half closed now. Hey, stay awake. Look at me. I dialed with one hand while tapping his face with the other. The dispatcher answered and I tried to explain. 8-year-old brother, heart racing for almost an hour, dizzy, getting drowsy. She asked me to count his pulse. I pressed my fingers to his neck and counted for 10 seconds. 18 beats. That was 108 per minute just at his neck. She told me an ambulance was on the way. She told me to keep him awake and not let him lie down. His eyes kept drooping. Eli, tell me about your favorite Pokemon. He mumbled something about Charizard. Good enough. The paramedics arrived in 6 minutes. They hooked him up to a machine and one of them said 224 to the other in a voice that was way too calm. I didn't know what 224 meant, but it sounded high. They carried him to the ambulance and let me ride along. The whole way there, they were doing something with the machine, talking about adenosine and cardioversion, words I'd never heard. At the hospital, they wheeled him straight back. Mom arrived 20 minutes later, still in her scrubs, face white. She grabbed me and held on. You did good, she whispered. You did so good. The doctors came out an hour later to explain. Eli had Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. He was born with an extra electrical pathway in his heart that could trigger dangerous rapid heartbeats without warning. If I'd just told him to sleep it off, his heart could have given out. They said the next episode might not give him 45 minutes of warning. They scheduled him for an ablation procedure to fix